story time. Pack opening and story time. Hope you're having a great day today. And then at 9:50 a.m., you all told me you wanted me to sell more action to you for the World Series of Poker at no markup. I've already sold a bunch. So we're going to do that at pocket5s.com. If you go over to the staking tab, click right there, filter by player, go to Jonathan Little, click apply. Right now you see there's only 2 events left with action available, a 50K and 100K. I realize those are not going to be incredibly high value propositions for anyone. They're almost sold out, actually, funny enough. Good. And anyway, we're going to be putting up a few more tournaments, I think a few $1,500 tournaments, etc. It's going to sell out immediately. We put up some of my main event. We had 10% of my main event. It sold out in $10 pieces pretty much immediately. And then we have this Bounty Turbo 10K that sold out basically. Whatever, it's gonna sell out. I'm telling you all first. Haven't told anybody else in the whole world. This is just for people who are here for a little brain fuel. There will be a few more tournaments that get loaded up here. There'll be smaller buy-in games, presumably with a reasonable edge. No rake for poker or for pocket fives. No rake for me. No vig. We're not like everybody else charging 1.5 or whatever they want. No markup for the fans. Happy to get back to all of you. So that's going to be happening at 9:50 a.m. I think, if all goes according to plan. Still a relatively new site. I think they have to manually update everything, so we need somebody to wake up and actually do it. Good morning, good afternoon. Exactly. So what are we doing today? WPT and ThetaDrop teamed up to have an NFT release. The cards came in packs. Here are various cards we've opened here on the channel. You can go back and watch those at youtube.com/pokercoaching. We're just going to open some packs and see what we get. Watch some poker hands, enjoy ourselves. Get Ice Miser. Yeah, we don't need this. Let's see. Is the Halloween sale still happening? Does anybody know? Let's see if it's still happening. I think it's probably over. Pokercoaching.com/Halloween. Oh, it's still on. Would you believe that? All right. Did you all have a nice Halloween? Did anybody go trick-or-treating? We had fun with the kids. Everyone was out and about trick-or-treating. Make sure you check out pokercoaching.com/Halloween for a big sale on pokercoaching.com. I'll tell you what I've been doing on ThetaDrop. I've actually been selling various NFTs, various cards, and accumulating these packs here. These packs here are actually quite rare. There's only 490 of them in existence that were ever made, and I have to imagine a lot of them are already opened. These things, if you want to buy them on the market right now, will cost you $870 to buy one of these packages of cards. Kind of pricey. Here we have the second series here. Similar thing. These are going to be a little bit cheaper, though. These, if you wanted to buy these, will cost you $359. Expensive packs of cards, huh? I've been selling various NFTs. We have a few for sale right now, although these are not going to sell. I have a Daniel Negreanu card for $1,999. A Frank Stapouchin card, where funny enough, he's wearing a poker coaching patch. Let's watch this real quick. I'll show you. It's funny. I think this is actually against my friend Shannon, who is also wearing a poker patch. Look at that.
5.
What a handsome man.
And he is going to step this up to 160. Frank with an ace-4 makes the call.
Gotta have that NFT, am I right? It's not going to sell for $1,000. You can probably buy this one cheap. You can buy this NFT from somebody else for $220. You know, not so bad. Then we have the legendary Mike Sexton. I love Mike Sexton. Anyway, today we're going to be opening some of these packs of cards. We're going to go through some hands and see what we get. We also have a few other packs here. We have the all-in pack. We have a base set pack with premium editions. We have some older ones, etc., etc., etc. Fun stuff. What should we open first? We're not going to open this one. We're going to save this one. The neat thing about these packs is that one day, there will be almost none of them left. I actually have a lot of old Magic the Gathering packages of cards from 1994, 1995, 1996. They're quite old, and there's almost none of them left. And that results in them being quite valuable, which is kind of cool to think that a package of cards from 1996 could be worth thousands of dollars. But they are. Things are worth what people value them at. Interesting stuff. All right. Let's open one of these. So we'll see what we get. We'll open one of these. Do we want to open one of these? It feels bad to open these because I know these will be worth something one day. Let's open it. We will open number 119 or number 323. Let's do 323. 323? Sure, that sounds lucky. Click here, click open pack. Here we go. Who are we going to get? We'll see. Hello from Portugal. Good morning. Congrats. I own this. Okay, let's open the pack. See what we got. Woo, 7 cards. Okay. This will last us all hour. Think of the value. Think of the entertainment value. If you can open one of these packs of cards, go through the hands nice and slowly, share them with everybody else. That's worth at least 300 bucks, right? All right, let's see what we got. Frank's the Poochin! Milking the cow! All right, let's take a look at this hand. Ooh, that's loud.
Frank with the ace-6 suited, first to act.
Is that loud on your end?
He will eventually raise.
Now Shannon with an 8-6.
Definitely going to make the call out of the big blind here. Frank wants to play doctor.
Not right now.
Let me get a little read on that, Paul Shannon. Interesting flop, though. 9-5-4. That will give Shannon a gut shot to the 7. Frank has the best hand. Now, I think that should Frank bet here, especially if he bets small, Shannon will continue.
The question is, does Shannon bump it up? Let's take a quiz here. What do you think he's going to do? I know that we don't have stack depths here, which is a bit of a bummer. Assuming they're anywhere near reasonably deep stacked, I think this is a pretty strong spot to put in the raise. Frank bets a 3rd pot, it looks like. You're obviously going to continue, like great commentator Tony Dunn says. Question is, do we want to raise? In this scenario, you want to be raising with stuff like ace-9, king-9, 9-5 suited, 9-4 suited, 5-4 suited, 5-4 offsuit even, right? And then some of your best draws that you know you're not folding. But are there really any of those here? Not really. Like 7-6 is pretty good, but if you raise it and get jammed, it's pretty terrible. So you probably want to call 7-6, which makes me think you want to raise some gut shots and some just junky backdoor draws, like maybe 10-8 of clubs. I think that's pretty nice. I think you can reasonably go for the raise here. You have to be careful you don't raise too often here because you really don't have all that many nut hands, right? If you think about it, you have, let's say, all the 5-4 offsuits. There's 9 of those. Then you have 9-5 suited, 9-4 suited. There are 2 of each of those. That's 11 combinations of hands, right? Maybe 5s and 4s, maybe 9s. So that's, let's say we have all those. That's 9 more, so 20 nut hands, which means we get to have 10 bluffs, give or take. So if you raise, like, just literally every 8-6 and that's it, you're already at 16 bluffs, which is too many to some extent, right? So you have to be careful you don't drastically overbluff here. I guess 16 is not too many. But if you raise like 8-6 and 8-7, then you're bluffing too much already, right? If you start adding in like 10-8 of clubs, diamonds, and spades, then you're probably too high. Same thing like Jack-10 of clubs, diamonds, spades, right? You have to be very careful on this spot. 10-8 of clubs just maybe like good enough to call. Like Jack-10 of clubs is almost certainly good enough to call. But as you get less showdown value and as your pairs are less and less live, you should probably be more inclined to raise. So I wouldn't hate a raise with this hand. Call's fine too, of course.
Now Frank has bet 95,000 and now he's doing something strange with his hands. Like he's milking a cow or something.
Oh, man.
260.
Yes! The uncle! Uncle Shannon.
There's Shannon with the check raise up to 260, so I love this play from Shannon.
Call.
A lot of turns are good for me, and so Frank is going to make this call.
This is a spot a lot of people don't call, but I think it's probably reasonable, right? Especially if you think your opponent's going to overbluff here. How are 7-6 and 8-6 any different on this board? 7-6 is an open-ended straight draw. 8-6 is a gut shot. How are 8-7 and 8-6 different? They're not all that different, right? But 7-6 is a substantially higher equity hand because it has 8 outs instead of 4, right? To the nuts.
Wants to see what the turn brings.
Sean figured it out.
Wow, what a turn.
4th flush now for Frank and a straight draw.
Second pair for Shannon, so he's going to check now with showdown value, and he only has about a pot-sized bet left.
So they were pretty shallow. I like this check raise a lot from Shannon. It's a spot where a lot of people just check call and then check fold the turn. But well, if they don't improve. Now when Shannon drills this 8, yuck. If Frank has a pot size bet left, should he just rip it in here? I don't hate it. I mean, you can definitely get some draws with equity to fold. Maybe even get an 8 to fold if your opponent did check raise 8-6. Does Shannon fold out 8-6 to a jam at a final table? Ugh, I don't know. It's probably just a nasty call. Ugh. Tough spot. I mean, once Shannon checks here, I'm never folding here unless I think Frank just has the nuts. I will say, Frank called that flop check raise pretty quick, assuming there was no editing happening there. Looks strong to me. Boom.
And there he goes. Frank puts Shannon all in, so a really well-played hand from Frank here. And a difficult choice for Shannon. This is tough. And you know that Frank could easily have a 9 or an overpair here. He could have the sets.
Now look, I can tell Frank's bluffing here. I will say in general, though, when people do absurd stuff and they sit back and they have their beer or their brain fuel, that looks very strong to me. It's always fun whenever you see someone doing such things and you know that they're like just playing a leveling game, right? Frank does this kind of stuff all the time, though. I will say that when someone gives off, let's say, potential tells all the time, like Frank's all over the place, right? He's eating chicken wings in the hands, drinking his beer, doing the conjuring motion, whatever this is. If he's doing it all the time, you can't really read anything into it, even though he's doing it all the time, right? Or if he's doing it frequently. Perhaps there are some reads to be found if you go deep and study exactly what he's doing, but like you can't really do that. So, because like away at the table, right? So this is a spot where I would like to say I'd find a crying call. Whenever you turn the showdown value with a pot size bet, I mean, you have 33% equity. I mean, you probably just do, unless Frank has a really good hand. So if Frank has a 9 or better, which is what a strong hand is here, then how many outs do you have, right? You have 2 8s, 4 7s, 3 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 outs. 18% equity if you're behind. And if you're ahead, he's probably drawing pretty thin. And I would not put it past Frank to have a hand like Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack, Ace X of diamonds, King X of diamonds, right? Yeah, tough spot. Jeremy says he was trying to check his pulse. I know what he was doing, but, for fun. The title here is Milking the Cow. Because that's what it looks like. Anyway, I mean, this is a spot where I usually just find a call. And the reason is because you probably have like 45% equity on average against someone like Frank who's going to float your small flop check raise pretty wide. And, what you're going to do. It sucks, but what you're going to do. I will say that depending on the other stacks at the table, like say there's a 5 big blind stack at the table. To be fair, I wouldn't have played this hand as aggressively as Shannon did to begin with. But if we did find ourselves here and there was a very shallow stack at the table, you definitely want to try to outlast that player, which probably means you got to fold. But I wouldn't have ran the aggressive line to begin with. You should probably just check call. So weird spot, right? Let's see what Shannon does. I'm going to presume whatever he does is right.
Gotta lay it down.
You want to see? Let's see it.
Great play by Frank. He just slams it over in Shannon's face. I love it.
Fist bump, nice hand. If Shannon check raises the flop, then should he have considered Frank's stack and stack pot ratio to know what he would do on the turn? Well, of course he should, and I'm sure he did, Dapper Dave. If Shannon got a brick on the turn, who knows what he would do? I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to go for it one time. Kind of a weird spot to fold. I don't think I would have found the fold there, but hey, like I said, if there's ever a read that looks strong, that looks pretty strong right there. All right, let's take a look at another hand. Simon Lamb. Lamb or Lam, we'll see. No fear with pocket jacks. All right, blast it in there, buddy. Let's see. Woo, Ole. Watch out for Ole. He'll get
All
you.
right, Ola with a big ace jack of diamonds has raised. And Simon, whoa, he picks up a pair of jacks here.
Very consistent defense.
Simon's just going to call in the big blind, and that's because when you look at the stack sizes, you see Griffin Paul with just 130,000. You really want to outlast that short stack and be able to ladder up in the pay jump.
So I don't know the exact scenario here. 100,000 doesn't sound like very many chips. I think this is actually the tournament that I took. What did I take in this? 12th, 11th, something like that. Ola took a lot of my chips on the bubble. It was very annoying. Anyway, This is a scenario where if it's like 50 big blinds, 40 big blinds, 5 big blinds, yeah, you probably just want to call. But if it's something like 50 big blinds, 30 big blinds, 5 big blinds, you probably want to just rip it in with the jacks, I think. Although call could be fine too. You have to be very, very careful when you're the clear medium stack, assuming we're three-handed. Anyway, Ola's pretty loose and aggressive. I don't really see how you can fold this flop, although it's pretty awful. With the jacks, I mean.
Oh, flop was great for Ola, hitting aces.
It looks like he's pretty
Ice
shallow.
cream is melting.
I mean, I don't know what those stacks would be, but it looks like he's shallow, right?
Queen on the turn, so not very good for Simon. He's going to check again.
As the big stack in this scenario, you probably want to just keep betting turn very aggressively here with a whole lot of stuff. That said, if you think you're going to get check jammed, you have to be a little bit careful.
Now Ola going to stick in another bet, it appears. Oh, yep, 72.
Yeah, and just more overcards keep rolling off that deck. And Simon now with a gut shot straight draw, but Ola still has that gut shot to Broadway as well.
This is just a fold with the jacks at this point. If you think about the bluffs that Ola could have, it's going to be Jack X and 10X. You block those very hard with the jacks, right? It's also going to be some random Jack high flush draws or flush draws with the jack that you block very hard. So I think this is just an unfortunate spot. You got to let it go. I know you have a gut shot, but this is just a tough spot. If this was Queen of Clubs, you can probably call, but with no flush draw, I think it's just an unfortunate fold. Assuming there's another shallow stack at the table. Now, he probably has in his head, just like everybody else does in this scenario, Ola's trying to push me around with a big stack. And, you know, if Ola showed up with the 8-7 offsuit, I would not be the least bit surprised. The problem is if you call, you're going to realize your equity so poorly on the river. Because if Ola does have some random bluff, like, let's say he does have 10-9, he's just going to blast you on the river. And you're going to fold. And if you happen to have the worst hand, like say he does have like king 9, he's going for thin value with a small turn bet, he's just going to let it go check and you lose, right? So when you have the worst hand, you just check and you lose, or he bets when he has a good hand. And whenever you have the worst hand, he's probably going to bluff you out. So this is just a spot where, yeah, you have the best hand a lot, but you're going to realize your equity really poorly. If you knew it was always going to get checked down, then I think calling's way more reasonable, right?
Calling.
Wow. Instead of call.
I didn't expect that at all. Nice play. This is savage. Savage. You don't know why people count gut shots a lot. You literally have 4 outs out of 52 cards. Well, first things first, there's not 52 cards remaining in the deck, right? How many cards are remaining in the deck that are unknown? You can do that math, right? If you can't do that math, poker may not be for you. Okay, so in this scenario, why do people value gut shots? Because, well, they make the stone nuts very often, and also they give you additional equity to keep barreling on the turn very often, like that 8-6 spot, right? Fun spot to rip it in. The problem with ripping it in is that it's kind of easy for Ola just to have the nuts, right? This is a spot where he's going to raise every nut hand and you're not. Obviously, you could have the Jack 10, of course, right? The problem is, would you even jam the Jack 10? You wouldn't. Like, jamming Jack 10 here, I think, would be pretty bad. Because you really want to give Ola every chance to bluff, right? So what do you actually want to jam here? What do you even want to jam? Like, I don't think you want to jam much of anything. The problem with ace, like ace 3 even, is that when you get called, it's not great. Yeah, I don't think you want to jam much of anything here. Maybe like king queen, but king queen probably, well, again, I don't know stack depth, so assuming you're not 3-betting jacks, you probably don't 3-bet king queen. Tough spot.
Calling, he decides to go all in. I mean, Vince.
Oh, the ice cream man puts the sprinkles on the whipped cream. How about that?
I definitely prefer the all in to the call. You do block Jack 10. You have 2 blockers to the nuts right now.
It is important to block your opponent's auto calls. That said, here there are a lot of potential auto calls. That was for me, but you can eat it if you want, whatever. Yeah, tough spot. Definitely tough spot. I think, well, so the thing for, like, whenever you're jamming, you want to block the auto calls and not block the auto folds. So what are the auto folds? Well, those are going to be the Jack high and the 10 high, right? Also stuff like Queen Jack or Queen 10 may bet. and then fold. Although I don't think those are going to bet the turn all that often. Maybe king jack and king 10 would bet and then fold. Would you want to jam queen queen? I got to presume queen queen's just 3-betting pre-flop, right? Rough spot for sure. Do you find the call with the ace jack? I mean, look, this is a spot where the opponent's very incentivized to be nitty, yet they're not. Seeing Simon do this with this hand makes me think he's not nitty. If Simon does have a nitty image, I think this becomes way better. But with no nitty image, this seems insane. With no nitty image, if we think Simon's like in there blasting kind of hard, I think you just got to cry and call it off. Because notice, it's not all that much more, right? Ola's getting 2-1, give or take, I think. Kind of hard to tell, but I think. So, he's put in 244 to win 750, right? I think that's what's happening. Anyway. Sucks, but I think it's a call-off, although it's definitely close.
316.
316.
Why not jam 3-3 or queen-queen? Because you want to keep Ola in bluffing. If Ola's the big stack, which I'm pretty sure he is, this is a spot where you are highly incentivized to keep him into the pot with all of his garbage. You really, 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 really do not want to let him fold his garbage. And Ola has a lot of garbage. I don't know what Ola's going to do here, but I will say, in a lot of my content here on YouTube and on pokercoaching.com, I really mention and highly emphasize the fact that you should be playing very aggressively against maniacs. Because maniacs will have too much garbage and they will fold way too often. And this is a spot where, like, Ola he's pretty maniacal at some points in time, and I'm sure he's being maniacal at this point in the tournament. So, pretty sweet spot to run the bluff. You'd have to be insane to bluff a maniac, right?
He is going to lay it down, and he was just totally manipulated.
Savage bluff. Nice hand. I like that play a lot. I don't think... Ooh, that's for the poker coaching webinar soon. I literally never would have made that play. Nice play. Let's see what all of you're saying in the chat. 4-4? Pocket fours? You probably don't want to jam fours there. Why don't people count? Why do people care about gut shots? Why do people care about any draws, right? They all have equity. You bet this guy spends a bunch of time on Reddit. I bet Simon Lamb spends less than 5 minutes a week on Reddit. I don't know many people who spend much time on Reddit. Let's take a look at another hand. All right. Tony Dunst. Drawing then dead. Oh boy. We'll try to go through these a little bit quicker.
Griffin this time with a very strong ace-king. He'll make it 25 to go. Tony with the pair of fives making the call. 5 on the flop as a 9-8-5 appear. 3 spades. Tony Dunst flops a set.
This is a spot where the initial raiser should bet frequently and small pretty often, especially with marginal draw, with lots of draws like king of spades, etc.
18.
Griffin has the king of spades, so to him, this flop doesn't look all that bad for him. He has 2 overs. He does have the second nut flush draw.
All in.
Tony is going to put him all in here.
So this is a spot where you want to have some jamming range, right? Like if you're sitting here with a hand like pocket fives, very likely the best hand, but vulnerable. Jamming's quite good. What about a hand like ace of spades X, right? You can get your opponent to fold out a lot of better hands, which is quite good. What about jack of spades 10? Maybe aggressive, but I think that's reasonable. Not exactly sure of the positions here, but assuming Tony could have jack of spades 10, I think that's a pretty sweet play. So good, good, good. Everybody typing in hand questions. I'm not going to answer all the hand questions today. This is not an Ask Me Anything. We're watching hands from the WPT ThetaDrop. Check it out at ThetaDrop.com. Is that a mashed rare Pepe here in my chat? I'm going to a rare Pepe gallery today. Would you all believe that? As soon as I'm done with my poker coaching webinar, we're going to a rare Pepe gallery. All right, here we go. What do you do with the king of spades, ace, king of spades? This is a tough spot, but you got to call. Pot odds, right? He needs to call, I think, 350K more to try to win 950. Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, he's not going to let him get off cheap here. If you want to draw, you got to pay for it. Tony with the set.
The problem is here is that you actually beat some draws, right? Whenever you beat some draws, you just have to call. And like right here, ace of spades king or ace king of spades is just an easy call. Especially when you don't block the ace of spades. The nice thing about not blocking the ace of spades is that the opponent could easily have ace of spades, jack, right? And you're smashing him. Obviously, he's drawing well, but, you know, you can still smash him. Or he might even randomly have a hand like ace, queen of spades, or jack of spades 10, right?
You know, it's a tough spot for Griffin, but I don't think you can bet fold this hand. I think as long as you believe you're live, then yeah, I think you have to go with it.
Maria says, as long as you believe you're live, you have to go with it. The thing is, like, you're never dead, right? When are you dead? When he has ace of spades 9, ace of spades 8. Those may not even want to jam, honestly. Those may just want to call, because those have you in pretty terrible shape. So I think that you're basically always live here. One way or the other, right? Like, either he has the ace of spades X or a worse draw, in which case you're ahead, or your draw is live. This would be different if you had, like, ace of spades, or ace with jack of spades, right? Ace with jack of spades, that would be a hand that's closer to a fold, because then he could just randomly have ace of spades queen or something silly.
He does make the call.
We'll fast forward.
Just make it interesting.
7 is interesting.
We'll fast
And we're going to the turn of clubs. So Tony Dunce is knocked out. Griffin Paul.
All right, he's gone. Goodbye. How deep are they? Not very deep. They were at a final table. Stack depths are kind of hard to see in these. I completely understand. If you have questions about hands, we're not going to answer them here today, but make sure you check out the poker coaching study sessions on Discord, ran by Louis Philippe. Him and his team do an amazing job there. Check it out. Ole again. Broken hearts. Aww.
Now Ryan on this hand looks down at a queen 7 of hearts. Just going to call it. And Ola with a king deuce of hearts. Let's go flopping. Flop is a 6-5-3, 2 hearts.
Big flop for both players. Ola has the second nut flush draw, but Ryan has a gut shot straight draw and a flush draw, so it's gotta look pretty good to him.
I'm all in.
This is a huge all-in. It really puts Ola in a tough spot because he's gotta think to himself, what type of hands would Ryan just make this massive overbet shove with?
Funny enough, this may look absurd to just rip it in here with the queen 7, but from a GTO point of view, I think you are supposed to have shoves here, assuming you are the medium stack. I saw there were 3 people at the table. I'm not sure of the stack depths here, but whenever you are the medium stack, you really, really, really don't want to get called in general. So you would jam here with some reasonably high equity hands, like perhaps ace 6, 6-4, stuff like that. Maybe like pocket 8s. Hands are like almost certainly good, but very vulnerable. And then you would also jam with some draws, usually the lower flush draws. They don't really want to bet and call off. This one might be good enough to bet and call off, really, but this is a spot where you should be using big overshoves. There was actually a hand like this came up in the $100,000 buy-in bubble that I took 5th place in, where on the bubble, somebody raised. I called big blind with like ace-5 of clubs or something. And the flop came, I don't remember what the flop came, like 6-4-3 or something with 2 clubs. So I had open-ended straight draw and gut shot or something like that. Anyway, I checked, he bet small, and I ripped it in, and he called it off with a king, queen of clubs, and I was ahead and I won. Gave me a nice chip stack going to the final table. But that's the spot where he should have just ripped it in a very similar spot to this, because if he bets and I jam, the king, queen of clubs there becomes almost a fold on the bubble of a $100,000 tournament, right? And the money was $250K or something. Like, it wasn't just a small. It wasn't only $150K to get in the min cash. It was like a decently big min cash, as they often are in small field tournaments. So that's a spot where I think this is a pretty good spot to shove stuff like this that a lot of people don't do.
It looks like a draw.
You got to call off here with the king 2 of hearts. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? Here again, do you beat draws? Yes, this hand does beat some draws, mainly 8-7, 9-8, etc. of hearts. And also, does it have good equity against the likely made hands, which are going to be like pocket 8s, ace 6, etc. And it does, so you just got to call.
Wow. And Ola's going to make this call against him.
Ola feels pretty good about his king high flush draw.
Got this. I got this.
Madness.
That's Nosik. Tosik is out in 3rd place.
Goodbye. All right. Is it still a good move to shove in these spots if it was a cash game? Probably not. Because, I mean, really, you want to shove there because you don't want to get called, essentially. You have decent equity, but you don't want to get called, so you shove high equity draws and very likely good made hands that are vulnerable, right? In cash games, you don't really care if you get action. Like with pocket eights there, if you're playing 40 big blinds deep or 30 big blinds deep, whatever it is, you don't really care if you get it all in. Like, you're happy to get it all in a cash game because you're 55% against your opponent's range. You're thrilled to get it in with 55% against your opponent's range in general. How do you enter the Discord? Go to pokercoaching.com, log into your account, click in the community tab. It'll come right up. How did Tony lose? I don't know. Maybe we'll see it in one of these cards. Ooh, rare Antonio Esfandiari, the magician.
And now it's the battle of the blinds. Our two young aggressive tigers, the ones that are battling each other hard.
Well, Phil's going all in like he should. He has a pretty good hand, King Jack offsuit, two different suits. He's going all in against his nemesis, Antonio.
Now, Antonio's sitting on 300,000. He has him covered. If he calls and plays and wins this pot, he will knock Phil Hellmuth out in fourth position.
You know, it's amazing, too, is that he has a better hand. What's he going to do?
This is...
So it's just an all-in pre-flop hand? The problem with a lot of these old hands is a lot of them are just like all-in pre-flop. What are you going to do with the king-queen? I don't know what we're looking at. Don't fold.
The ultimate test for Antonio the magician right here.
Kid, I'm rooting for you to call. Gotta be honest with you. I'm rooting for him to call. I just hope he doesn't outdraw me.
Ooh.
Listen to that. Now, Phil actually made that statement thinking he has the best hand.
A little table talk, a big smile.
He really believed that Antonio would have called already had he could beat the King Jack. But just look at the beauty of this World Poker Tour events. Because we can see their cards, we see the excitement, the electricity here, the problems, the decisions
He's going. He's doing it.
He does it.
Phil is devastated.
Here he goes. Look at Phil. It's heartbreak for him when he sees that hand.
Oh, no.
It's King Queen versus King Jack. What a call by Antonio here. Phil Hellmuth knows he's going to have to get lucky to win this pot.
No, not yet. Big favorite Antonio is still in front after 3 cards. Let's see the next one. Nope, it's not going to do it for Phil.
Phil Hellmuth needs a jack or he will be out of this tournament in fourth position. And a queen comes up at the river. Antonio wins the pot. He knocks out the legendary Phil Hellmuth.
Antonio's done it. The arms are raised up above.
Show some class and shake my hand, kid. No, don't do the waving.
I always do the wave.
Show some class and shake my hand. Is that the only video of Phil without a hat and cap? You know, very likely could be. How do I make this? How do I make this go? There we go. Oh my gosh. There we go. All right, let's see who else we get. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Maybe that's why it's rare. Yeah, haha. I don't think there's any need for the cap on that one. I think it's accurate. Wow, Michael Mizrachi. Grinding to a second title. Michael Mizrachi got me so good in one tournament. Actually, in multiple tournaments. There was one where he limped under the gun. I limped in second position with kings. Goes back around. Somebody raises. Mizrachi re-raises. I rip it all in. Mizrachi has the aces. I lose. I have kings. I'm out. Another time, though, on a $25,000 buy-in, final table, it could very easily be this tournament. There's a spot where Michael raised, folds to me in the small blind. I have about 25 big blinds, okay? I have ace-king in the small blind. Not exactly on the bubble. I think they paid 15 people, and we were down to 18, I think. I called with ace-king because I was about to shove it all in, like the obvious play, right? I look over to the left. Antonio Esfandiari, guy we just saw, had just gotten torched by the table. He went from like 100 big blinds down to 15, okay? Okay, fine. Grinder raises with a lot of chips. I call small blind with 25 blinds with ace-king. But while I'm like about to put my chips in, I see Antonio stacking up his chips and piling them in the pot. Like, okay, well, clearly I'm going to call now. Antonio jams. Whatever Mizrachi does, I don't care. I call. I get in as a big favorite. Probably Mizrachi's going to fold because he's hyper-aggressive and has all sorts of garbage. Fine. So, I call. Antonio rips it in. Grinder rips it in. I put my ace-king in, of course. Antonio had the king-jack offsuit. Mizrachi had the queen-jack suited. Did he have queen-jack or king-jack? He had queen-jack. Bet you can figure out who won. Not me or Antonio. That's fine. Such is life.
Action on the grinder this time.
It was not
Jack
this
6 in his hand.
time. We were at Bellagio.
All right, so it just shows you the grinder loves to play any 2 cards if he's going to play this hand.
Oh, yeah.
And he definitely is going to play it. He limps in with the Jack 6 offsuit.
And John D'Agostino right behind him with King 10. Says that's good enough. Let's see the flop.
Not a bad hand to raise with, assuming we are in position heads up. It looks like we are playing multi-way here. When small blind limps, big blind can definitely raise stuff like this King 10, unless you think you're going to get jammed on. And I don't think Grinder's like the type of player who does a whole lot of limping and jamming. He does a lot more limping and calling. And against players like that in position, you don't mind building the pot with what is very likely the best hand. Like right here, you see he has 65% equity, and he's in position. And as the aggressor, you're going to over-realize your equity. So it's probably a fine spot to raise if you don't think you're going to get jammed on a lot. That said, looks like Mizrachi has a whole load of chips. Can anybody count and figure out how many chips this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 side wide triangle plus a sprinkle on top. Do the math. How many stacks is that? 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. 8 exclamation points. Plus 1. So in that scenario, maybe you don't want to be so aggressive raising because you don't want to. You're going to get limp jammed a little bit more often. Anyway, fine spot to raise in a normal scenario, but this could be a fine spot to check.
I'm a little surprised D'Agostino didn't raise there. And look at this. The Grinders flop 2 pair events. D'Agostino checks.
He checks. How does he check? We must be heads up then. So he limped heads up. He checked King 10 offsuit. So if we're heads up, I think that becomes a little bit more reasonable to check because we're going to be out of position. So that makes sense, assuming we're heads up. Because then the player in position, Mizrachi, is going to call the raise a lot and realize their equity pretty well. So I don't mind that in this scenario then.
It's the gut shot, straight draw.
And the Grinder not doing the obvious. He's going to bet a little something, 120,000. Not going to play it coyly.
Well, it is the minimum bet, but still, you're not going to throw that away.
Sean got me. Is this 8 exclamation point is 8 times 8 times 8 times 8? Or 8 times 7 times 6 times 5? I don't know the math. I can't do math. I wanted the plus one. What's the one that does a plus? Apparently not exclamation point.
For 120,000 here, when you have a gut shot straight draw, that could give you the nuts.
And he gets the amazing D'Agostino to call for the 120. Here's the turn as a deuce of spades.
Fine check.
D'Agostino quickly checks it.
And again, no slow plan by the Grinder. He's betting 425,000.
Machine bets 425.
I'm all in.
All in.
D'Agostino trying to make a move. He went all in. Grinder quickly called him without hesitation. And right now, D'Agostino must catch a queen to stay alive in this tournament. If he doesn't catch a lucky lady, he's going to be our runner-up. And Michael the Grinder Mizrachi will capture his second World Poker Tour title.
Just an incredible feat for this young 25-year-old.
I'm not in love with this shove here. The problem with this shove is that when he has any jack or better, you're always getting called. And when he goes bet flop and bet turn, I know he's hyper aggressive and everything, but when he goes bet flop and bet turn, he should be somewhat polarized. So I'm not in love with that shove. I think you'd rather shove lower equity draws that also have flush draws or like more outs, right? Like you'd rather have 8-7 of spades, especially. T-Dubs with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. I need it because I can't do math. We're not mathematicians over here. We just play cards.
But it's not over yet.
They know he's 1 ounce away from capturing the second WPT title.
Michael the Grinder Mizrachi in the mosh pit.
Congratulations. Be sure to pay your taxes. All right. We have one more card here. I don't even know what this bonus card is. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? I wonder if this Mizrachi's card worth anything. We'll see in a minute. How much do you all think this Mizrachi card is going to be worth? We're going to find out whenever we're done here. Type your answers in the chat. I'm going to write down my answer on the back of this paper here. And that way I'll be able to play along, because I like playing games as well. I'm going to go with... How much do I think that card's worth? Let's go... Got it. How much was the pack? The pack was $300, I think. $320, something like that. All right, Darren Elias, very strong player. Let's take a look at Darren Elias' hand.
David Baker with ace-4 here on the button will open our action. We'll make it 375, still using the large raise sizing.
1.7.
He's going over the top to 1.7.
Ooh, Mattis, I love Mattis.
Into Darren Elias.
Somebody early wanted to know who we have crushes on. I like Darren Elias. I like Mattis. I like Ola. 3 men I have crushes on today. So lovely.
Who picks up the perfect hand at the perfect time, the Cowboys, pair of kings.
This is unfortunate for Mattis. He's put over half of Darren's stack in, so there will be no folding when Darren commits his chips.
All in.
Finally does what we knew was going to happen. Goes all in with his shortest stack. And now David Baker will get out of the way. And Mattis, of course, makes his call with his king, jack of diamonds.
It's about as good as it gets with pocket kings. Your opponent doesn't even have an overcard. All you need to do is dodge a straight or flush or
Mattis, you fish,
an
you call,
improbable
drawing
trips.
You got me. You think? I was hoping it was worse.
I was hoping it's worse. Get out of here, Darren.
Flop, it is a 9-10-5.
Well, never easy, Vince.
No.
With that flop, Mattis has 4 outs to the nuts. Any queen would give him a king-high straight.
Oh, this would get ugly fast if Darren should get drawn out here, going to the turn.
Ooh, an 8 on the turn. Mattis now open-ended. So any queen or 7. 8 clean outs for Mattis to eliminate Darren Elias in third place.
Excuse me.
Ooh, an 8 on the turn. Mattis now open-ended. So any queen or 7.
8 outs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, Tony Dunst. Come on, Tony Dunst. 8 outs, not 10.
8 clean outs for Mattis to eliminate Darren Elias in third place.
Greta and the rail standing up. They'd love to see this suck out and break Darren Elias right now. Going down to the river.
I don't know what the river's going to come, but I know Darren Elias literally never loses an all-in.
It's a safe 10 for Darren Elias. He will double up. The former lifeguard swims happily away.
Well, that's that. Good sweat.
Good sweat, good sweat. All right, fun little pack of cards here. Let's see, how do I go see my collection? Where is that Michael Mizrachi card? Here it is. All right, here's my number. Do you think I'm going to be high or low? 208, not 802. 208. That's my guess. Please be 208. Please be 208. Woo, look right here. 190. Pretty sharp, huh? Off by $18. Skill game, skill game. Got to be pretty happy with that. Let's see. You could buy them all right now. You could buy one for 190, 199, 210. You could invest like $4,000 and just buy them all. You think we should do it? Think we should just buy all of them for $4,000? Mace, you think this is Michael Acevedo? There's a chance. Is there a way to see that? Less than a signed Black Lotus. Indeed, indeed. You want to see my signed and altered Black Lotus? I'll pull it out real quick. Let's watch Daniel Negreanu hand while I find it. It's buried in my closet somewhere.
Action is on David. Looks down at King 6 of diamonds.
Press the button.
He's going to call it.
Calls 50,000.
Look at this. Daniel has picked up 2 aces again, Vince.
Oh, boy.
He just had him 2 hands ago. He's got him again. Makes it $400,000 to go, and David has called him.
$100,000 raise.
He gets the action he wants. Let's see a flop.
Comes King, Jack, 8.
And look at that. David's picked up his kings. But, of course, Negreanu has the pair of aces out in front.
Well, Daniel's going to lead out and bet $400,000.
I'm all in.
What's that?
All in.
You want it?
You're all in?
Yeah.
What is he waiting on?
I call.
Well, he does call.
He was being dramatic. Of course he's going to call it. You got aces versus kings. Now, they're very close in chips.
Nice slow roll.
Ace 6 against
Well, I don't know if it would eliminate one player or another. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, a jack comes off. Daniel says that's a good one because it eliminates a 6. Right now, David Williams must catch a king, or Daniel Negreanu is going to win a monster pot.
Here it comes, Mike. Here comes the river.
Let's see the last card.
Well, it's a queen.
Well, that could do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Elaine, good morning. People spend money on these? Yes, there are these things called non-fungible tokens. Just check them out. They're fun. David Williams, NFT king over there, by the way. Daniel Negreanu also in on the NFTs. Would you believe that? These two guys are NFT lords at this point in time. Interesting world. How would you buy all of them? Some are listed at $4,000. Oh, I meant literally all of them. Or I meant essentially all of them, not literally all of them. It's very important to realize, Sensei, whenever you're speaking about most things in poker, you don't mean literally every time, you mean almost every time. So whenever you say you could buy quote-unquote all of them, you mean almost all of them. I mean almost all of them. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Webcam. Black Lotus. You want to see the Black Lotus. Can you see the Black Lotus here? Signed and altered by the late, great Chris Rush. Yeah? Have to take it out of the package. Let's see. Yeah? Come on, camera. Not going to focus for me today, are you? Probably haven't set up to not focus. Whatever. There you go. Daniel Negreanu makes fun of NFTs. Of course he does. Probably also sitting on a few $100K worth of NFTs. Fun game. You also have other various jewels. We have the Moxes. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. How do you even hold these things straight? I love collectibles. Collectibles are fun. Why are collectibles fun? This is a neat thing. Why does anything have any value whatsoever? Obviously, some things return money so you can pay on future earnings, but a lot of things have value that don't produce future earnings, and a lot of things have value that do not even have great utility, right? I like game pieces, right? Like Magic the Gathering cards. I like game pieces because they actually do have some utility in the game. You would have that in way more than a regular sleeve. Well, I got to play it in the vintage deck. We have a whole vintage deck here. I don't even know what this is made up. I haven't played the vintage deck in forever. Let's see, for all those who love the Magic the Gathering cards. You all may not know this about me, but I love signed and altered Magic the Gathering cards. Like a Caracas. You see Caracas? Signed and altered by the artist. Yeah. I have an Instagram channel called Daily Magic Muse. You can check it out. I post Magic the Gathering cards there. Yeah. Brainstorm by Chris Rush again. No longer with us. Dak Faden. You know Dak Faden? Somebody did a list of the greatest planeswalkers ever, and Dak Faden was not on the list. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, pretty one. Lightning Bolt by Chris Rush and Richard Garfield. Yeah. Sorry, the thing's not focusing quite too well. Check it out, Instagram.com/DailyMagicMuse if you care about this kind of thing. We're not going to go too much into this. Anyway, fun game. This deck is very outdated. I haven't played Magic the Gathering in 5 years. Stuff like this art, and art is only worth what someone will pay for it. Very true. Well, most things in life are only worth what someone will pay for it, right? Like this pen, for example. To some people, this pen is worth nothing. Give it to an artist, though. They can make millions of dollars with these pens. Give Jonathan Little a basketball. Yes, I could use it as a chair. But if you give it to LeBron James or Michael Jordan, it's worth $1 billion. Right? Things are only worth what you value them at and what you can do with them. And it's important to realize that people value things differently. Right? A lot of people have a difficult time wrapping their head around the idea that some people value things differently. Like game pieces, right? Game pieces are a great idea. If you don't play Magic the Gathering, this could be used as a piece of toilet paper. Right? But maybe it's a cute little bookmark or something. But it's basically worth nothing to you, right? However, for me, it's worth more because I like playing the Magic the Gathering cards. I'm just told that our package went up on Pocket Fives. Let's see if it's up. Go to pocketfives.com. Oh, wait. You can't see my screen. Click on staking. Please be up. Please be up. Select player, Jonathan Little. Boom. Here we go. 2 pieces just went up like I promised. Check it out, pocket5s.com. Actually, staking.pocket5s.com. That'll probably work. We just added 6-handed PLO. I guess there's a $3,000 6-handed PLO tournament. I'm selling 10%. I think the maximum you can buy is $30 worth of that one. And then we also released a $5,000 8-handed tournament. Maximum you can buy, I think, is $20. I don't know. Not a lot. Purposefully not selling very much of the action in these tournaments. No markup, though. Small pieces. There you go. Get in there. If you miss out on those, we're selling some action to the 100K and the 50K as well. 20% to the 50K, 70% for the 100K. I'm playing them all either way. Check it out. Pocket5s.com. There's actually been a lot of, I mean, look, this is not a financial advice podcast, but there's a lot of good buys. If you can buy good poker players action at even money and the site itself, like Pocket Fives, takes no rake, that's a pretty good deal. Like, for example, Daniel Negreanu sold a bunch of pieces on this site as well. You can go over here, search by Daniel Negreanu, click apply. I know he had more than this earlier. I don't exactly know how the site's working, but there was one thing where you could buy like all of his action or whatever at no markup, and like that was a very good deal. I bought a piece of him a year or two ago. Oh look, David Williams. How about that? Guess he's not. I don't think it shows it once the event happens. I guess maybe that's not how it works. Yeah, it must not show it once the event happens. Anyway. I bought a piece of Negreanu a while back, and this is like free money. If you can buy a piece of a good player with no markup over like a decent number of tournaments, they're probably just going to win on average. The nice thing about this too is that you can buy like $10 pieces across the board. It's a little bit tougher for the player, right? Because I'm buying in for 100K, 50K, 1,500, right? But if you can get action to all of them across the board and you have like 20 tournaments, I'm not gonna say it's hard to lose, but it's a pretty good buy. You have to be very careful when you're buying action, though, at a markup. And, look, there are a lot of good poker players out. Well, there are a few good poker players out there who are happy to sell their action at basically no markup because they want to get back to their fans, right? I'm doing this purely for all of you. So anyway, y'all may not believe this, but I've given away and or sold at no markup, something like 40% of my World Series Poker main event this year. Woo! Poker coaching members, by the way. There's a giveaway for some of my main event action. We'll be doing that very, very soon. Make sure you get in on that. Did any of you buy this action yet? Let's see if it's sold out already. It's not going to be sold out already. Please don't be sold out already. No, so look, you all are just chilling. Make sure you check it out. We already sold $20 worth of this one, but hey, get in there, enjoy yourselves. That's going to be it for today. I have a webinar happening now. Pokercoaching.com. Let's see if I can load up the question. I'll share it with all of you. Poker coaching webinar, homework, in a tournament against competent opponents with a 40 big blind stack. Everyone folds to you on the button. What is your strategy? Should be something like this. You're raising all these hands. Oh, look, not quite in the window. Glad we loaded this up. All right. Suppose you raise the 2.2 big blinds, only the big blind calls. Flop comes. Jack, 10, 2. What is your strategy? Should be something like this, but continuation betting a lot. GTO, as you can see, continuation betting a lot, right? A lot and small. Suppose you bet 1.6 big blinds, big blind calls, turns to 3 diamonds. What do? Now we're going to be betting bigger and polarized. As you see on the turn, potting it mostly when we're betting, or over potting it mostly when we're betting, and very polarized, right? If we use an implementable strategy, something like this, betting the red and the blue. I know we're going through this quickly because this is not for all of you. This is for pokercoaching.com. Suppose you bet 10 and the opponent calls, rivers of 6. What do? What do we triple barrel bluff all in with? Some of you are going to say, nothing, don't triple barrel bluff. Some of you are going to say everything, which is also wrong. I'll show you really quick. Look at GTO. GTO gives up with hands like King 8, King 9 a lot of the time, King Queen a lot of the time. Just check it down and give up. But notice it also does a lot of bluffing with stuff like 9-8. 8-7, etc. Anyway, check it out, pokercoaching.com. We're having a sale right now at pokercoaching.com. What the heck is this? Get ICMIs or jailpoker.com/Halloween. My bad. I've had this thing up wrong the whole time. I'm such a fish. Check it out, pokercoaching.com/Halloween. Oh my goodness, what a fish I am. You all have to tell me when I screw up. You don't get ICMizer at jlpoker.com/Halloween. You get pokercoaching.com at pokercoaching.com/Halloween. You can get a big discount right now. You might as well check it out. If you enjoyed the show, do me a quick favor. Click like, click subscribe. You should use your giveaways to try to get more subs. I use my giveaways to try to give back money to the subscribers at pokercoaching.com. If you all support me, I'm happy to give all of you money if you think about it. If I can give away a few 1% pieces of my action to the World Series of Poker, it costs me $500, maybe $1,000 if I have a good ROI on average. And, I'm happy to give back $1,000 here and there to all of my students. Speaking of which, the students have had an amazing World Series of Poker. We've had 2 bracelets, at least, that I know of. One of our students took, I think, 5th place in the seniors tournament yesterday. Another player took 4th, I think, in the reunion, the $400 tournament with a bazillion players. So, solid showing for the students. I'm excited to get out to the World Series of Poker. I actually leave tomorrow for the World Series of Poker. I'll be there until the end. If you're a Poker Coaching member, make sure you try to get in on our breakfast. We're having a breakfast for the Poker Coaching members. Again, just try to get back to the fans. We're having breakfast at the Rio a few days. So we're not going to do a little brain fuel for a few weeks while I'm out in Vegas. It's hard to do a little brain fuel while I'm in Vegas. But then we'll be back in late November/early December, okay? That's me for today. Good luck in the games. Have fun. Click the like and subscribe button. Check out pokercoaching.com/Halloween. I would appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Let ThetaDrop know, by the way, if you enjoyed the show, if you like going through all those hands, let the people at ThetaDrop know on Twitter. I think it's at ThetaDrop, I think. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Check it out. And that's going to